Alright, Ferrari F50 Championship, 73% complete so far, and of course I was able to claim 50% completion, which was worth, combined with 25% completion, was worth 15 gold, and that did not require any gold upgrades because this car has 2 tiers of racing dollar upgrades to start off, so we get 14 upgrades with racing dollars only, which brought the PR up to 50. Now, to get past, to arrive here on the tier 12, what I had to do was get that drivetrain 3rd tier upgrade, which was a gold upgrade, and that is 15 gold worth, right? And of course it unlocks the last tier racing dollar upgrade of that category, drivetrain. And incidentally, that brings my PR up to exactly 51.7, which is what I needed to complete the tier 11, which means it unlocks, of course, tier 12, and I just need 1 gold trophy here to claim that 15 gold that I just spent on the drivetrain upgrade. So essentially, that's a free upgrade, free gold upgrade for completing 75% completion. So that's not a bad deal, eh? So since I haven't serviced my car, we'll make sure that I win this by doing a head-to-head, which is generally a trouble-free event. And it's going to be at the Porsche Test Track Long Road Circuit. And of course, bots have been sufficiently trained fairly early on in the series here, so this should be a walk in the park, I'm expecting, even though in these main straights I do fall behind, but you know, these guys way overcompensate around just about every corners. This car's slippery, but it's not that slippery, come on. So anyway, yeah, so even if you, well, number one, if you don't own this car, I mean, this is by far the cheapest way to win this car, and I guess you can think of it as getting quite a bit of upgrade discount on your gold upgrades. And if you count all the racing dollar you earn, then you can think of that as a racing dollar discount as well, right? Not that we need any of that, but your mileage might vary depending on what level you are in the game or how long you've been playing. Since if you don't farm, you may not have access racing dollars, you know, and especially at lower level. You don't just start accumulating, especially if you know, buy all the cars, and it's all a matter of how you spend it, right? Anyway, so as I was anticipating, pretty easy head-to-head event here. Minute 41 and change. Nice strolling around the Porsche test track. The long road circuit, the outer rim, right? So that should be good enough to get me that 75% completion reward, which is that 15 gold. And there it is. And what is with that between the letter E and letter T in complete? It's like one of those broken graphics. Do you guys notice that? That is goofy. They messed that one up. But anyway, so that is, yeah, essentially a free gold, right? And then remainder of the event will award us 20 more gold. Now, if you don't, as I said, if you don't own this car, obviously you should run through the series to win this car, because it's by far the cheapest way of earning this car with quite a few upgrades. Otherwise, here, we'll do the speed snap here real quick with the current PR without investing any more gold. Target is 184 and change. Let's see. This happens around the last parabolica section, heading towards the finish line. Typically, Hong Kong circuit speed snap isn't too bad. Oh, or maybe it's gonna be bad. Or maybe I lollygagged a little too long at the beginning section. But then again, I'm not so certain if this car will hold if I go any faster. But if I wanted to bot train, at least it won't take as long, I guess. Or if I want to get past this stage, I'm gonna have to get some gold upgrades anyway, which is all that's left, by the way, of course. The last tier upgrades, and I'm gonna need all of them before the end of this limited time series. Except for engine, of course. Engine, I'm done. I don't need any more upgrades on engine. Alright, hug tight on the inside. Come on. 180, really? Alright. At least that gets me on the podium. Albeit third place. That should be good enough to unlock the next tier. But let's see. Alright, so we need a bit more bot training here if we want to get past this one. Although, I'm thinking maybe I should just put some upgrades on now, since I will be putting upgrade on in the next one. Well, let's see if the target drops down. By that I mean just have one opponent over 180, because it seems like right now there are two, right? And then it drops down to 179. So if I can just get rid of JKR and Jackknife, so is it going to be Jackknife on top? No, still JKR. That's because I am being too competitive, right? So when you're bot training, something to keep in mind is you don't want to be too close to the target. It'll just take the same process much longer. So, but now that the game knows what I am capable of, I don't know if it's gonna drop down. We'll see. That's obviously very, very slow. 129. And let's see if the Jackknife replaces JKR. Yep, it did. So we just need to do it one more time, then we should have this car should have enough to get me past. So in case anybody that's wondering about how to bot train, and if you are finishing too close to the podium, or if you're on the podium finish, then yeah, you cannot bot train. It expects you to compete, because I think game is expecting that you can pull it off. And depending on the status of your car, that can be a futile attempt. But here, now it's under 180 target. We should be able to beat the heat. even with this terrible line, I should be able to, yep, get it past 179. So there we go. A little bit of bot training, but not as rigorous or severe, depending on how you look at it. That's good enough to get me past this speed snap. And of course, we do run into a roadblock here thanks to the PR requirement in this final race in Tier 12, the Cup race at Mazda Raceway. PR requirement 52.7. With that 15 gold spent on my drivetrain, my PR is tapped out at 51.7. So at this point, I might just go ahead and get the rest of the gold upgrades. So 12 for body, suspensions another 14, so that's 26. Another 14, so that's 40, right? 26 plus 14, 40, and that's 10, 50, and 62. So 62 gold I need to spend to get 20 gold back. But remember, total. So here's the math, right? We spend 77 gold total, and we get 50 back, and we get the car, and we're getting 77 gold worth of upgrades on the car. So, you know, just completely disregarding the car. Let's say you already own the car, and you just haven't put any gold upgrades on the car. Then by running through, what you're getting is you're getting heck of a discount on those gold upgrades, except the engine. You don't get any by upgrading engine, you're not getting any special treatment there. So forget the engine part. Just stay with the racing dollar upgrade. You're fine. But you're getting 55 back for 77, or 50 gold back for 77, which is obviously more than 50%. So that is, talk about a discount, guys. That is a good deal. As I was saying, let's not do this incrementally. We'll just get them all done. The final round of upgrades here for this limited time series. So obviously now my PR is way over the requirement, but we are doing this so we can actually now finish the event, which requires PR 56, as you can see. And yeah, engine, we don't need to touch it now. So okay, here we go. 4 laps around Mazda Raceway, Laguna, Seca. And should be a full grid. Yeah, I thought I was getting that bright yellow finish, but you know what? The Ferrari red finish is okay. I mean, after all, isn't that what Ferrari is best known for, right? This sexy red paint. So that's okay. I think yellow would have made it kind of stand out a little bit more in the track, but this, you know, there's this red finish, and there's that one, the maroon finish, right? It's slightly darker. So they can a little bit harder to detect, and you know, it's one of those like, well, a red Ferrari, how original, right? But that is the classic, at least in my head, when I think of you know, Ferrari. It's it's got to be red. Alright, so even with these extra gold upgrades in straights, I'm not actually able to always compete with the car in critical condition. Thankfully, the Mazda Raceway, we don't lack corners here, so able to catch up to the leader. We should be able to complete the lap 1 in pole position, if you will, over Pungent Sauce in second place. Right. I feel like I have to brake a little bit. Yes, I do have to brake earlier. Yes, these Ferraris tend to be on a bit on a slippery side. It's like too much horsepower for its suspension or something. Or these whole tires to be able to handle. They're sliding all over the place here. And by the way, look at those. Look at that rear view mirror. What a funky shape, right? That's always fun. And of course, if you guys haven't checked out my drag race video in this car. What tier was it? I don't remember. Tier 10 maybe? Tier 11? Where I was doing that in the cockpit view for a very particular reason. I wanted to see. I knew the answer before, but I just wanted to see if I would get surprised. By that I mean if the stick would fit into the proper gear position. Right? Because this is not one of those lever shifter cars. Back in the 90s, we didn't have those. So, you know, I wanted to see if this guy actually puts the gear in proper position. Because when you're racing, like right now, you cannot tell what position it's in. But as it turns out, the stick stays in neutral. The whole time. It looks like he's shifting gear, but not really. It's dead center, and it doesn't go anywhere, which is a bit disappointing. I know maybe they figured who races in the cockpit view anyway. I don't know. I like racing in cockpit view because of the sound. I think it's by far the best out of all views. And let's see. I think it's the hardest, or maybe harder, one of the harder views to play in. At least I find it a little bit harder just because of the certainly in certain type of cars where it's got narrow visibility. Very difficult to race. This car isn't too bad. Or when it's like more critical, I wouldn't use the cockpit view. But if you're more of a purist, and I know a few of you guys are, then sure, yeah, cockpit view is cool. But while we're in the cockpit view, what I'd like to see, the thing that's just purely cosmetic, that does not really update according to your racing. You know what would be cool in the cockpit view is have the odometer actually go up as you race. I mean, I think that would be neat, because then you can, that's like, I don't know, that'd be kind of fun. Like, yay, I've hit 100,000 miles on this car, or whatever. You know? Need a timing belt change. But we all know they don't change. Same with the fuel gauge, it always remains in the same spot. And so those things that I'd like to see a little bit more dynamic. I know they don't really affect your gameplay, but yeah, that's unfortunate that they don't change. I suppose there are other more significant gameplay related issues they can improve, so maybe it's not a big deal. Actually, I know it's not a big deal, but just for the little fun, I think that'll be neat. But anyway, now that I got these final round of upgrades done, we'll be making the mad dash towards the end now. The remaining, what, 3 tiers, right? Unlocks the tier 13. Get 6,000 racing dollar bonus. So we'll see you in the next tier, tier 13. Until then, take care.